Good morning and welcome. We are in Senior English Senior English A, and our objective for the hour is an introduction and a series of comments on what we will call collectively the Troy Tale. Now, I'm taking some of your time now to do this for a number of reasons. One, this is a story or a collection of stories that it will benefit you to have some sense regarding as you move on to university college. The assumption is that you have, to some degree, background knowledge in regards to these stories. Now, what are these stories? Well, collectively we call them the stories of the ancient Greek culture. Dude, why are we going back to the Greeks if we're studying Beowulf? Good question. I'm glad you asked it. Because your textbook has decided that if you're going to learn about the great epic hero Beowulf, it would make sense that you know something about the very earliest epic heroes in the Western tradition. Now remember, if we draw a little timeline, I won't take your time. If we draw a little timeline of history on our whiteboard, and we go Beowulf, we're talking about 1000 Common Era, about 1,000 years after the birth of Christ. But if we go back in time on that timeline, and we ask, when did Western civilization kind of get kick-started? The answer is actually the early Greeks. And we can write down about 500 BCE, and we can say that about that time, those people invented a story, a group of stories, that collectively Edith Hamilton, a famous academic, called in her book, Mythology, the Troy Tale. For those of you interested in fleshing out all of this, you can borrow a copy of Edith Hamilton's Mythology, read part 4, and you'll get a far fuller understanding of this story. Now, the primary source of this story is by a cat named Homer, H-O-M-E-R, who will at least supposedly write down 2 famous epic poems. Before there was Beowulf, there was Homer's Iliad, I-L-I-A-D. The word Iliad comes from the word Ilium. Ilium is the other name for the city of Troy. Okay? Troy is the first New York City. It's the first great city of the world. Okay? We'll have more to say about Troy in a bit. The second epic poem by Homer is a story called the Odyssey that you were introduced to probably in your freshman year of studies, right? The Odyssey, okay? So collectively, we take stories that come before the Iliad. We call those pre-Iliadic stories. Then there are the stories of the Iliad. You're reading a few pages in your hymnal from the Iliad. By the way, for those of you who have, if not endured Brad Pitt's film Troy, you're probably familiar with 1 or 2 scenes maybe that you shouldn't see from that film, not get into it, and of course that film is telling the story of the Iliad by and large, and then there are post-Iliadic stories after the Iliad, of which the Odyssey is one. Let's add one other epic title, just for those of you who are university bound, so you can at least say, yeah, I heard it once long ago. Virgil's Aeneid. Virgil is the poet. The Aeneid, A-E-N-E-I-D, the Aeneid is the other epic poem, okay? And this one tells of the famous hero who escapes from Troy. I'll maybe mention him at the end of my lecture. Now, what shall I do here? Good morning, Mr. James. What shall I do here? I will begin, first of all, by saying that I can't tell all of the stories that constitute the Troy Tale. There's too many of them. What I will do is tell the highlights so that you have kind of a general sense of what we mean when we talk about the Troy Tale, the major events of the Troy Tale. Let's begin. The stories I will now tell you are pre-Iliadic stories. They're from before the Iliad. If you pick up the Iliad and start reading it, Iliad 1, Book 1, there are assumptions that you, the reader, already know what's preceded the story. That's the stories I'm telling now. Our story begins not on Earth, but rather on Mount Olympus. This is a mountain. I highly recommend that you graduate so that you can then obtain some currency, so that you can then travel. And if you travel, I highly recommend that you find yourself roaming around the area of the Mediterranean, the Aegean Sea. Sooner or later, you'll bump into the classic city of Athens. And if you go north, you will find there's a mountain there called Mount Olympus. And the thing that makes this mountain kind of unique is that it almost perpetually has a ring of clouds around the top of the mountain. The Greeks imagined that their gods lived there. Now, the Greeks imagined their gods as anthropomorphic, that is to say, gods in the form of humans. And with the exception of only one of those gods, all of them were drop-dead gorgeous, and they set up on Mount Olympus where they ate lots of food of the gods, ambrosia, and they watched large screen TVs of human beings doing all kinds of crazy things. And if they wanted to, they could jump down, take human form, and get involved in the lives of humans. This is kind of the picture of the gods. The king god is a guy named Zeus. Zeus throws a big wedding party for his daughter who's getting married, goddess. And everyone is invited except for one goddess, the goddess of discord. Iris isn't invited. And she's kind of like the troublemaker goddess. So when she doesn't get invited, she gets tarked off. She didn't get invited to the prom. And so she makes an apple, a golden apple, and around the outside of the apple she writes the words, "To the most beautiful." And she walks up to the window and she throws the apple into the middle of all of them, and they go, it's a bomb. No, remember, these are gods. They're immortal, so they don't worry about dying. But they immediately recognize the golden apple is like a trophy for the most beautiful goddess. Immediately, 3 goddesses jump up and say, the apple belongs to me. The first of those is Hera, H-E-R-A. Hera is the wife of Zeus. And she says it real simple, like, hello, Zeus is my man, and I am the queen, and therefore the apple belongs to me. I am the most beautiful. The next goddess is Athena. Of course, Athena will be who the city of Athens is named after. Athena, guys, are you ready for this? Athena was the girl in 3rd grade that when we all went out onto the playground, she's the one that walked up to the swing you were on and you went, cool, it's yours. Athena will kick the ever-living snot out of anybody. She is the goddess of warfare. And Athena jumps up and says, whoa, 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 I can kick the ever-living snot out of any goddess in the room. Obviously, the apple belongs to me. The 3rd goddess has been sitting in the corner. She kind of stands up and says, seriously? My name is Aphrodite, and I'm the goddess of love and beauty. For those of you that have ever heard the phrase aphrodisiac, of course, any kind of a substance that will enhance love making, it comes from our word Aphrodite. Aphrodite is the goddess of love and beauty, and she says, seriously? Clearly the apple belongs to me. All 3 of the goddesses look at Zeus. Zeus, typical man. We're going to learn a lot about men in this story. And typical man, Zeus goes, I could make a decision like this between the 3 of you, but I've decided that instead of me deciding, I'm going to let a human decide. His name is Paris. And they're like, Paris? Well, yeah, but Paris is not just any guy. Paris is, how should one say it politely? Paris knows women. Can I just leave it at that? Okay, we'll do the PG rated version of our story today. Paris knows women. And so he sends them to Paris, where Paris will then judge which one of the 3 goddesses is the best looking. Now, we got to pause in our story for a moment and tell you about Paris. Paris is an interesting cat. When we see him for the first time, he is sitting under a tree, watching a bunch of sheep, and he's strumming his guitar. Oh, my life sucks. Oh, if only I could, not live in a town with 3 stoplights. I know I could be somebody. Oh, my life sucks. Okay. Now, who is this kid? Well, his name is Paris. Paris doesn't know it, but he is the son of the king, his name is Priam, of the king of the greatest city in the world, Troy. Whoa, how did that happen? Troy, the greatest city in the world. Yeah, Troy is an amazing city for its day. The walls of stone, are you ready for this? The walls of stone are as thick as this room is wide. The walls go up 60 feet into the air, completely surround the city. Amazing fortress. They actually run chariots across the top of that thing, going both directions to be able to defend the city. Ain't nobody attacking this city. The king of that city is named Priam. One night, his wife, Hecuba is her name. By the way, don't worry about all these names. You can find them online or whatever if you need them. Hecuba has a son. The night the son is born, they name him Paris, The night the son is born, into the room where the child is born walks the blind prophet Tiresias. Now Tiresias is an interesting cat. He is blind, but he can see both the past as well as the future. Tiresias walks in and he says to Priam, the king, he goes, "Uh-oh, you're in trouble." Priam's like, "What do you mean I'm in trouble? I just had a new son born. Isn't he nice?" No, you don't understand. You better kill that kid. Now, this is a motif that we have happen over and over again in mythology. You got to kill that kid. Priam's like, "Why would I kill my newborn son?" If you don't kill, prophecy, if you don't kill that kid, he's going to grow up and he will be the reason that the city of Troy will fall. Priam's like, "This city? This city can't fall." Dude, if you looked at the walls of the city, Tiresias says, if you don't kill this boy, there will be no Troy. The entire city will be leveled. Well, Priam can't kill his kid, so he does the next best thing. He takes him outside of the city. He gives him to a shepherd to raise as his own. So that way, every once in a while, Priam can check in on his boy and kind of watch him. But in Greek mythology, if you're born the son of a king, you grow up to look like Brad Pitt, big and strong and all of that. So when you see Paris for the first time, he is, how should one say it? He looks good. We'll just leave it at that. He looks good, okay? I mean, he could, do an Abercrombie commercial, if you will. He's sitting there under his tree when the three goddesses, these gorgeous goddesses, show up. And he's like, "Ladies, what can I do for you?" Athena, "We have a problem and we need you to fix it." Paris, "Problems? I'm good with problems. Like, what kind of problems do the three of you need me to take care of?" "Well, here's the thing. There's this golden apple, and we need to know which one of the three of us you think is the hottest." Paris is like, "Yes, what a great day for me. But ladies, does this sound like a guy or what?" Typical guy. Paris, first question he asks is, "So you want me to choose which one of the three of you is the hottest?" "Yes, and then get the one that's the winner, that golden apple. See, the golden apple." And he's like, yeah, but here's my question." Typical guy. Right. See, Lang's with me. Okay, so I get to choose one of the three goddesses is the best looking, but like, dude, what do I get out of it? And Hera says, "You know what? You're absolutely right. Each one of us will step up." Are you ready for this? "Each one of us will step up and offer you something." Paris is like, it's a nice day to be alive, this kind of thing. So Hera steps up. She says, "Okay, first of all, let me introduce myself. I am Hera, queen goddess, and basically, if you give me the apple, I'll give you the world." Done. And you can ask the other two. I can do that. And the other two are like, "Yes, you can do that." So she's like, "Here, give me the apple." Paris almost does it. He almost does it. He's like, but wait a minute, he's like, who's like the next one? She's pretty hot. Like, who is she? Athena steps up, pushes Hera aside. "I am so glad that you ask who I am. I am Athena. Here's the deal. Hera can give you the world, but she cannot give you the military power to hold on to the world. I am the goddess of warfare. I will help you defeat your great enemies, the Greeks." Remember, Paris is Trojan. He lives at the city of Troy. "I will help you defeat the Greeks, and the Trojans will be completely powerful, and you'll have everything you ever wanted. Give me the apple." And Paris is like almost ready to, when he sees over her shoulder Aphrodite. And Aphrodite's kind of doing one of these where she's looking away and like, what? And he's like, "Well, what has she got to offer me?" Aphrodite, she kind of steps up and she says, "Well, here's the thing. I really don't have much to really offer you. I mean, I can't give you like the world or." Now here's the deal. See, and guys have to ask this question every time and answer it sooner or later. How can you account for the fact that on the one hand you can offer a guy everything in the world, but on the other hand, Aphrodite says the only thing I can really offer you is like, I don't know, like one night with the most beautiful woman in the world.
Take it. The world.
Here's the deal. Paris doesn't even think. He doesn't even think. I mean, he immediately just hands the apple right to Aphrodite. "Okay, there it is." Oh, this is big time for your notes. It's at this point that Hera and Athena realize they've lost, and see, because here's the thing, guys. Let me kind of explain this to you so that someday in the future you can come back and say, "Geez, McGee, the old man was right after all." Here's the deal. Someday, guys, some of you are going to end up with a girl, married or otherwise. And here's the thing: when she comes to you and says, "Honey, do you think I'm getting kind of a little bit Chubby? Do I look a little tubby to you? Hey guys, there ain't but one right answer to that question. It better come fast. I'm telling you now. Okay, here's the deal. If you say to her, you know, I'm so glad you brought that up. We need to talk about your weight gain issues and calorie discipline and some kind of workout plan for you. Oh, guys, let me just say this out loud. They never, ever, ever forget. They don't forget, guys. They just don't. Take Mr. McGee's word for it. They never forget, okay? Here's the thing. Put it in your notes. And this is significant. Hera and Athena will walk away. They have lost the golden apple judgment of Paris, but they ain't going to forget. And it's at this moment that Hera and Athena decide Troy must fall for this. Okay? Troy must fall for this. Of course, Paris, he doesn't care, right? What is Paris into? Well, now he's into Aphrodite's offer. So he's like, okay, so what do we do? Like, where do we go? What's the girl? And she goes, well, I told you, one night with the most beautiful woman on the planet. He's like, yeah, who's that? And she's like, everyone knows who that is. Her name is Helen. Oh, he says, I've seen her calendar. No, I'm kidding. They didn't have calendars. Helen, yeah. He's like, I've heard of Helen. And he's like, wait. Isn't Helen like the queen of Sparta? The queen of the great king Menelaus? I mean, isn't that like Helen? And she's like, yeah, don't worry, I take care of everything. Now, for those of you that have seen the film 300, you already know about Spartans. And it's basically two things you don't mess with. It's kind of like West Texas. You don't mess with a man's truck and his dog and then his girl, okay? You just don't do it, right? So anyway, but you know, Aphrodite's like, I'll take care of everything. And so Paris gets in his boat and he sails to Sparta. Now, they have a rule. Sparta, by the way, is one of the island kingdoms of Greece. They have a rule that when a new person shows up, the king's got to come down, check him out. What's going on? Who are you, etc. King Menelaus hears there's this young stud just got off the boat out in the harbor. I don't know. So Menelaus goes down. He says, "Who are you?" Paris is like, "Me, I'm nobody. I'm just bumping around." Like, dude, where am I anyway? Menelaus, well, you don't know where you are. This is Sparta. Sparta? Is that like a country or something? Like what? You have not heard of Sparta? It's like the greatest country in the world. Are you kidding me? And I am king. Oh, Menelaus, you're the king. Oh, good. Do you like live here alone? Oh, you haven't heard about my wife Helen. Oh, you're married. Congratulations. He turns around to act like he's getting back on his boat. Menelaus, no, don't go. Why don't you stay, eat a meal with me? If you're lucky, you'll even get a chance to look at Helen. Well, okay. So Paris, there he is, eating with Menelaus. Like, dude, like, when are we going to see this girl you've been promising? Don't worry, she'll come. It'll be a bit. Now, here's the thing. The Greeks invent their mythology to explain the unexplainable, right? They don't understand stuff, so they got to invent a story to explain it. Let me give you an example. You're at the party. It's so boring. The music is beating and all. It's just so boring because you're all alone. All of a sudden, across the room, you see him or her. Your eyes lock up. And all of a sudden, this weird thing goes through your body. We, of course, understand today all kinds of things like hormones. The Greeks don't know about hormones, and so what the Greeks do is they invent a story. Here's the story. Aphrodite has a little boy named Cupid. He's got a little bow and arrow set that he just got from the shopco. And what she says to him is, you know, pull that arrow back, shoot that arrow right into the heart of the guy, right into the heart of the girl, and bam, from this point on, you know, as they say, it's history. Well, Helen comes down the stairs, and this is exactly what Aphrodite does. And how does one say it politely? Paris don't leave the next day, or the day after that, or the day after that. Dude, are you ready for this? Paris and Menelaus become pals. They go hunting together and fishing together and four-wheeling. No, I'm kidding. You get my drift. Oh, it's awesome. They're having a great time. Menelaus comes up to Paris one afternoon. He's been there for several months. Hey, you and me, we're pals, right, Paris? You bet, buddies. Bump that. Menelaus is like, okay, now here's the thing. I gotta go away. I need your help. Oh, Paris, anything, dude, whatever you need from me. I'm here for you. Here's the deal, Menelaus. I gotta go away to war. Paris, whoa. Homie, don't do wars. I'm a lover, not a fighter, which is why the city of love isn't named Achilles. Right? The great city of love is named for a reason. It's called Paris, right? So anyway, Menelaus is like, no. I gotta go to the war. I don't want you to go to the war, but here's the thing. There's my girl, Helen, and I'm worried about leaving her alone. Forget it. It's all right. Paris, no. Ask. What do you need me to do? Oh, guys, here's the deal. Menelaus breaks rule number 1. Every guy knows this. If you have a hot girlfriend, you never, ever, ever leave her with your best friend. I mean, come on, everybody knows this. Menelaus didn't know that. So anyway, oh, this is brutal. Menelaus and his pals are in the ship sailing away at the harbor. There standing Paris and Helen. Menelaus, there's my best friend, ready to take care of my wife. You bet, Paris, you bet. I am definitely taking care of your wife. Brutal. Menelaus is a good fighter boy. He comes back after a couple of weeks. Lucy, I'm home. Shows up. Can't understand why nobody wants to look at him. Like, nobody look at Menelaus. Like, what's going on? Nobody wants to talk to this guy. He shows up. Where is Helen? Servant comes in. Helen is gone. Gone to Billings to go shopping gone? No, kind of like gone, as in, you remember that guy you left? Oh yeah, my best friend Paris. Yeah, well here's the deal, he left with her. Oh yeah, by the way, when he showed up back at the city of Troy, he got told that he was actually the son of King Priam. He's a prince of the city, and they took him and your wife into the city, and now Helen is inside the city of Troy. Bad, really bad. Immediately Menelaus declares, we are going to go fight those disgusting Trojans. We're going to kill every last one of them. But here's the problem. The city of Troy is this huge city, like I already told you. So the only way the Greeks have a chance is to get all of the troops together. So Menelaus asks his older brother Agamemnon, Aggie baby for short, Agamemnon. Now, Agamemnon is a stud. He's like the warrior of all of the Greek troops. He calls in his bro. Agamemnon says to Menelaus, his brother, yeah, right, we get to go kick Trojan butt. Let's go. This will be great. And he calls together all of the troops. He calls Agamemnon. He calls for all of the troops to get together, to get ready to leave. There's a couple of stories about him having to go out and find his 2 greatest warriors. One of them is named Odysseus. Odysseus is interesting because he's been faking like he's crazy, and so Agamemnon has to go and convince him, dude, I know you're not crazy, let's go. And then his other greatest warrior of all time is a guy named Achilles, who isn't there either. And Achilles is gone because he's been told by his mama that if he goes to fight, he's going to die. And so he's hiding out, trying not to have to go to fight. Agamemnon finds him as well. They all get ready to go. They get into their ships to sail away. There's thousands of these ships, and all of a sudden, all the wind goes dead still. Agamemnon's like, oh, great. Bring in Nestor, my prophet. Find out what's going on. Nestor walks in and says, dude, you got problems. I know I got problems. I got no wind. No. That's not your problem. Your problem is that last night, one of your soldiers went out hunting and killed a favorite deer of the goddess Artemis, the goddess of witchcraft. Agamemnon's like, oh, great. What, I got to sacrifice 1,000 goats or something like that? No. Way worse than that. She wants your daughter, Iphigenia. Agamemnon's like, dude, I can't sacrifice my daughter Iphigenia. Odysseus says, don't worry, we take care of everything. I got a plan. That night, Agamemnon comes home to his wife, Clytemnestra, and he says, honey, guess what? I got great news. Clytemnestra's like, great news? What? You know that stud warrior Achilles? He's just... Oh, she says, yes, Achilles. I know Achilles. I saw The Bachelor. No, not on TV yet. And Achilles, he wants to marry our daughter. Clytemnestra, oh, that's great. I have so much planning to do. There's the hair I got to get done, and then I got to get the wedding. No, honey, you don't understand. It's Achilles. He wants to marry our daughter tomorrow. Tomorrow? I don't have time. I don't even know what I'm going to wear to the wedding. No, honey, you don't get it. This is an all-guy affair. There won't be any girls there. Here's the deal. Achilles is kind of a strange guy. He wants to get married to our daughter before he leaves to go do this Trojan War thing. We'll come back. After we come back, we'll do a real wedding. How's that? And she goes, you're going to take care of my daughter, Iphigenia? Honey, she's as good as dead. I mean, no, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. Poor Iphigenia. She lies in bed all night with her little wedding gown on, thinking about how exciting it's going to be that she's going to get married to the great warrior Achilles, and he's rich, and he's... Ooh. And so everything is exciting, and she gets up in the morning, and she can't understand when she walks into the place where she's supposed to get married. All the Trojan warriors, the sailors, are all kind of standing there going, ha, ha, ha. And at the front, next to the altar, is her dad. He won't look at her. Is Achilles. He won't look at her. But her daddy told her to do it, so she comes walking down to the altar. And the minute that she gets there, they grab her and they throw her on top of the altar, pull out this huge dagger and whoo, right down through her heart. Kills her. Agamemnon stabs his own daughter in the heart. And immediately the wind starts blowing. And all the soldiers go, hurrah, let's go to war. And they all leave.
Now we're pumped up.
But let's say something out loud. And every boy knows this at Worland High School in the senior class. You do not mess with a mama's daughter. That's just called dumb real dumb. And we know that when Agamemnon comes back, Clytemnestra's going to be waiting for him. Are you ready for this? It's going to take 20 years to fight and defeat Troy, the city of Troy. 20 years. In fact, no, it's going to take it's going to take 20 years for Odysseus to get back. The Iliad now is where I'll begin, and the Iliad opens, and we've been waiting 10 years at the walls of Troy to try and get inside the city. No luck at all. Here's why. Every time that they start kind of losing the fight, the Trojans turn around and run back to their city. Run away. And they get back inside of their city, and there is nothing that the Greeks can do about it. So what the Greeks start to do is they start to attack outlying cities, okay? And the way they fight these wars are kind of disgusting. They go into a town, they basically slaughter everyone in the town except for the pretty girls. They line all the pretty girls up, and then the warriors go through the line and they choose the girl that they want, and then the girl belongs to them to do with as they wish. The warriors start, though, with the greatest warrior choosing first, and then the next, and then the next. And what's happened is that, as the Iliad opens, one of these towns has been defeated, and Achilles has gone through and he's chosen, but not first. The first guy to go through is the great king Agamemnon, and he chooses a girl named Tiresias. Achilles comes in next, and he chooses a girl named Briseis, and then they all go back to their tents to do whatever. In the morning, they wake up, and 1,000 soldiers are dead. Agamemnon's like, calls in Nestor, his prophet. He's like, what's going on? Nestor's like, dude, you got trouble. I know I got trouble. I got 1,000 dead warriors. He goes, no, that ain't your trouble. This is your trouble. That girl that you took, that Tiresias girl, have you slept with her? No, I was getting around to it here in a bit. Don't touch her. Whatever you do, don't touch her. She is the priestess of the god Apollo. And Apollo is sitting up on Mount Olympus with invisible arrows. He's knocking us off. Within 3 days, we'll all be dead if you don't give the girl back. He tells him this in front of the Greek troops. Like Agamemnon's like, dude, I don't want to give the girl back. I want her fair and square. Achilles stands up. He's like, dude, are you retarded or something? What, are you kidding me? Of course you're giving her back. We're all going to be dead. Agamemnon says, oh, so I got to give my girl back and you get to keep your girl to Achilles. Achilles is like, dude, yeah, you chose wrong. That ain't my fault. Agamemnon's like, yeah, but I'm the king, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give my girl back, and I'm going to take your girl, Achilles' girl, Briseis. I'm going to take her. Well, look, Achilles is one of these kind of guys, right? He's one of those guys that's at the park. You looking at me? Let's go. We're out in the park. He's one of those, right? That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's Achilles. Achilles, then, he gets really upset. He does the unthinkable. He actually draws for his sword. Now, they have that kind of rule. It's kind of like the rule in certain gangs where if you pull out a firearm, somebody's going to get shot. I mean, it's like you don't pull it out to wave it around to scare people. It's kind of like the rule that somebody's got to go down, that kind of rule. The Greeks have a rule like that. If Achilles pulls out this sword, he's got to kill Agamemnon. And immediately, Athena realizes, we're about to have civil war among the groups, the Greek troops, and so I've got to go down and stop this. And so she goes down invisibly, and she stands next to Achilles, and she puts her hand on top of the hilt of his sword. And Achilles is trying to get his sword out, and he can't get his sword out, and so he starts jerking to try and get his sword out, and he looks like he's having an epileptic fit. The Greek troops start laughing at Achilles. They're like, dude, what's up with Achilles? He's like having a fit or something, trying to get his sword out. All of the Greek troops start laughing at this warrior. Achilles, ladies, does this sound like a guy or what? Achilles' pride is wounded, and so he goes to his tent and he pouts. Fine, stupid jerks. They took my girl. I ain't gonna fight in the war no more, stupid jerks. And he goes in, and for most of the Iliad, ironically, Achilles actually sits inside of his tent, pouting. Like, guys today don't pout. That was only a long time ago that guys pouted, you see. Yeah. Right. So now we are to the stories of the heart of the Iliad. Let me give you an example of one. They're standing around. It's been 10 years. 10 years. They're standing around. Why are we fighting this stupid war anyway? Dude, I don't know. It has something to do with like a guy named Paris taking like Helen or something. Menelaus, this girl. Well, why don't we, ladies, these are the guys that run the world. It's taken them 10 years. Well, why don't we just take Menelaus and put him with Paris? Ladies, they think they're smart. We'll let them fight against each other and the winner can have Helen. Great idea! Right, ladies. Right. They run the war. They run the world. It takes them 10 years to figure this one out. Great idea! Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll put them together and let them fight, and the winner can have Helen, and we'll all go home. Takes them 10 years. So that's what they do. They get ready to fight. Paris, he doesn't want to fight. Menelaus, he's like so ready to jack this guy. Into the ring. Paris gets pushed, and the first thing he sees is Menelaus ready to kill him. He's like, okay, dude, I can tell you're like way upset. So here, let's make a deal. I'll give you Helen back and a bunch of money, and then we'll just call it square. What do you say? Menelaus is like, dude, the last thing you're going to see is my boot coming down in your eye socket. Menelaus is chasing Paris. He gets ready to completely kill him. In fact, he's ready to kill him. And Aphrodite sends a sandstorm, picks him up, takes him back over the walls of Troy to his bedroom, where Helen comes and takes care of. Okay, they finish their little fight. Menelaus says, Paris is gone. Clearly I won. And they say, yeah, you're won. And so the battle is over. But Hera comes to one of the stupid Trojan warriors on the walls of Troy and says, nice bow and arrow set. Yep, just got it today. I wonder how far you can shoot one of those arrows. I don't know. Let's find out. Lets it go. Through the air it goes. Into the chest of one of the Greek soldiers. And now they're all back fighting. When you come back tomorrow, I will finish my observations regarding the Troy tale. Thank you.